Okay, friends, in my third lecture, I will tell you about the structure or the format of IELTS examination. There are four modules in IELTS test: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. As I told you before, you have to give your listening, reading, and writing in one day with no breaks. And speaking, you can give 7 days before your listening, reading, writing test, or after your listening, reading, writing, 7 days after your listening, reading, and writing test. It depends upon you whether you want to give speaking before or you want to give speaking after. It's all your personal choice. Now, please have a look at the structure of IELTS exam. First section is listening. Listening is of total 40 minutes. Now, please listen carefully. The test, the listening audio is played for only 30 minutes. For 30 minutes, you will listen to four sections of listening module. The remaining 10 minutes you can use for writing your answers on the answer sheet, because when you're given the question paper for listening and the script is being played, audio script, then you can mark those answers directly on your question paper. But remember, you have to transfer those answers from your question paper to the answer sheet in the last 10 minutes. If you don't mark your answers in the answer sheet, no marks will be given for listening. Okay. Now, 30 minutes you have to listen to four sections and 10 minutes to transfer your answer. There will be total 40 questions. So per section will be 10 questions and there are four sections. Now, there are different types of questions that are asked in listening. I will cover these in my next lecture, where I will discuss with you in detail every type of question, how to handle every type of question, and also the major tips how to handle listening section. Fine. But if you want to improve your listening for your IELTS exam or in general, you should start to listen to English news or some you can watch English movies. Then only your listening capacity will increase, because in listening module, your concentration level should be very high. Now the questions and the audio script, questions are with you on the question paper and the audio script is being played. But the important part is that you can have a look at the questions before listening to the audio. So the audio person will always tell you to have a look at questions number 1 to 3, for example, or please have a look at question number 1 to 5 in section 1. So just go through the questions and keep in mind what the answer could be when you listen to your audio, and immediately mark that answer on your question paper. Fine. So after listening, here comes the reading part. In reading part, there will also be 40 questions. You will be presented with 3 passages in academic module and around 5 passages in general training. Now, these passages in your academic reading are taken from some magazine, some newspaper or journal, but these are not any specialist reading passages. These are general reading passages. Even if there is some technical term in your reading passage, they will provide you with some glossary so that you can take some meaning from that glossary. Fine. So if we take 3 passages and time is 60 minutes, so you need to spend maximum 20 minutes only in on one passage. Fine. So then only you will be able to cover these 3 passages, and total questions are around 40 questions. So per passage, there may be around 13, 14 questions. Okay, here the important part in reading is you have to understand the passage. If you can understand the passage, then you can handle any type of question in reading. So your vocabulary should be good enough to understand the meaning of every line or passage. Here also there are many different types of questions. For example, there are filling the blanks, There are multiple choice questions, choose from A, B, C, D. And the very important question is like, is the statement true or not given, or is the statement not true from your given passage? Or they can ask you the heading of some passages in the question. Choose the correct heading. And these also I will discuss in separate reading um, tutorial, where I will tell you types of questions asked and how you have to handle those types of questions and the tips. Then the third section is writing. In writing, there are two tasks you have to complete. You have to write in both academic also and in general training IELTS exam also. If we talk about academic module, then you will be given a graph. It can be a pie chart, it can be a table, it can be a column chart, it can be a diagram, it can be a flow chart, anything. And then you have to grasp the information what is being given in that diagram, and then you have to write and explain the information provided in that diagram in task 1. Now please note that in task 1 you have to cover minimum of 150 words, and you can devote maximum time of 20 minutes, because if you devote more than 20 minutes on task 1, then it will be difficult to cover task 2 in less than 40 minutes. So try to complete task 1 in 20 minutes or less than 20 minutes, but you have to use minimum 150 words. So try practicing how many words you write in one line. Then you can judge when you're writing in IELTS exam that how many words you have written if you count the number of lines. But you can cross 150 words, no problem. But don't write 250 words in task 1. 150 to 170 or 180 is more than enough. In task 2, you will be given a task, like for example, they may ask you what is your opinion about this topic. For example, India's population growth. Or they can ask you what are the advantages and disadvantages of using smartphones. Or they can ask you, do you agree or disagree with the following statement, that whether online education should be provided in schools or not, or should there be a work from home facility for employees or not. So there are a number of topics, but these are general topics, not any specialized topics. Like for example, you have to give some you have to explain something about cardiology or something. No, it is not like that, but it is a general topics that we will cover in writing. Now, in general training, task 1, it will be a different one. Here you have to write a letter. It may be a formal letter, semi-formal letter, even a personal letter, where you might be requesting some information or might be asking for some solution for a particular problem in your society. Fine. That will be a task 1 for general training. The number of words and timings are same for both academic and general training. In task 2, both for academic and general training, you have to write a minimum of 250 words and try to spend maximum of 40 minutes on task 2. Now you can write 300 words if your speed is fast enough, but 250 to 270, 280 to 90 is enough. Even if you write 250 words and have explained everything properly, that is also good enough to score more than 7 band in writing. The last section is speaking, which is around 11 to 14 minutes. There will be 3 sections. In the first section, they will try to get information about yourself, like they may ask you, please introduce yourself. They may ask you about your education. They may ask you about your family, hobbies, interests, whatever your personal information. These are just general questions you can answer with no training, etc. But there are certain things which you have to keep in mind while speaking that I will tell you in speaking section. After 3-4 minutes of general questions, you will be presented with a question card, cue card. Cue card, basically there will be a topic which will be given to you. You will read that topic, and then you will be given 1 minute to write certain points about that topic which you want to explain to the examiner. Okay, so after 1 minute, you have to start speaking on that topic for about 1 to 2 minutes. Then the examiner will stop you, and then he or she may ask you some follow-up questions on that topic. So this section will be for around 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. Fine. And in section 3, again, he can ask you certain questions which will be related to your section 2 cue card, 2 or 3 questions that will be cross-questioning based upon your answers which we are given in section 2. So this will be the overall structure of IELTS format. In next lecture, I will tell you about in detail what type of questions are asked in all these sections, what you have to be prepared, what we have to prepare to be to gain minimum 7 band in IELTS. Okay.